I appreciated that then. So it's like you knew a gangster when you saw one. Like when I was growing up, we were around. If you had a tattoo on your neck or your fingers, you are a gangster.
You're a banger. You're a banger.
For sure. You gangbang. If you had a tattoo on your face, you damn near weren't even looking at somebody in the face, in the eyes that had a tattoo in their face. You're like, like a home with no parts of that.
Don't mess with that kid. Don't mess with
Leave him or a dude with rollers in the head. Oh my God. No, big word.
And here we go. You're listening to the Kings Can Move On podcast with your hosts, Jason Stewart and Frank Rainey.
What up, everybody? What's up, world? It's the number one podcast, soon to be number one podcast in the nation. Kings Can Move On. You got your co-host, Frank the Tank, a.k.a. my kid's daddy. What's happening?
What's up, y'all? And you got your boy Jay, the other side of this thing on the Kings Can Move On. We got a special guest tonight I'm very excited to talk to. We got, well, I'm going to do this. We got Mr. Drew Evans.
All right.
Welcome, Drew.
Hey, thank you for having me. Peace to you guys. Peace to all your listeners and watchers, your viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
When I looked you up, do a little research, you had a lot going on, brother. So I'm going to let you just do your own intro. Like, what do you do? What you got going on?
My name is Drew Evans. I go by Risky Cereal. I'm a co-owner of an internet radio station here in Houston, Texas, in 3rd Ward called All Real Radio. I also am a filmmaker, I'm a photographer, and I direct. And I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a friend. Lover of people, some people I should say,
The right people.
Right, the right people, the right people.
Yeah,
I think that's it in a nutshell, I believe.
That's cool. Hey, before we get into this, I would be remiss if I didn't say, I want to send my heart and prayers out to the families of the victims of that awful shooting that happened today in Uvalde, Texas, at the grade school. I can't even imagine. Our children are some of the most innocent, pure people there are. Mm-hmm. And for somebody to go to a grade school and shoot and kill 14, I think up to 15 or 16 people now.
18 kids, three adults as of this recording.
Yeah, it's up to 18 kids?
18 kids, 3 adults,
wow. Yeah, 21 people, man, for nothing.
Unimaginable, a grade school. I don't. I just wanted to say that, thoughts and prayers, and it's a tough one to swallow.
Yeah,
that's tough, man. And after Buffalo, we all talked about it, and we kind of knew it's like there'll be another one. There won't be a time, and one just rolled up on us a lot quicker than probably most people would have expected.
Yeah, it did, and there's no other way to even put it other than he had to have mental issues.
It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. I'm gonna call it what it is.
Sick.
This dude is a mass murderer, serial killer, terrorist, and the FBI needs to do something about the American terrorists, the white terrorists that they have in this country that are killing black people. That's what they need to do. Period and point blank. They want to sit up here and get on people get on the blacks and look for Black Lives Matter when they're all what they're trying to do is do a peaceful protest. When they have these white terrorists, let's call them what they are. Yeah. Call these white terrorists what they are and point them out. FBI. Okay, I'm off my.
Yeah. So, question: was this shooter? Was he white or was he like a Latino dude? He was white.
You know what? I didn't even get. So I haven't seen the images yet.
Yeah, I just went by name, because I know they mentioned his grandmother name. So immediately I thought Latino, but I don't know.
What's the name? I didn't even see it.
I forget. I'll have to look it up, but I heard it.
You don't want to put it out there right now.
Yeah, it's in Uvalde, which is, I think it's close to San Antonio, they said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So possibly could be, Latino, because, San Antonio is heavily populated with Latinos. So
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. But whoever it was a sick fucker, and I wish
Yeah.
he'd just killed himself. You know what I mean? Instead of going to cause all this harm.
Right.
You know, because you
Right.
do that in the end. So what was your purpose? Why?
Yeah, and we'll
The
never know.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't know unless he wrote something, which a lot of these weirdos do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's yeah. Like I said, kids. I can't
Yeah.
even a motive at all. It's just like what? It wasn't your peers you went to get you mad at. It was children. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But that could be a whole episode because
Yeah.
it's very disturbing. But Drew,
Yeah.
I want to send a big shout out to Big Hen
Right.
because
Yeah.
that was a connect that
Right.
put us together. You know, Big Hen is our boy from way back in high school.
Okay.
We've been best friends since ninth grade. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So in KC, right?
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
known him since seventh grade. In ninth grade, we incorporated Jay into the pit program, and
Yeah.
Three
Yeah.
Amigos, Three Musketeers. The man.
Were y'all a rap group at one time?
This
No.
B.I.G.
We weren't in the rap.
No.
We was just, we were in the
Silly.
background.
Okay, gotcha.
So, but
Gotcha.
he had,
Right.
yeah, no, we was just support system.
Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, I have no talent when it comes to rap.
Yeah. Ken is a good guy, as I'm sure you guys know this already.
Yeah.
You knew it before me. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Genuinely
big shout out to
good
Big Hand for making this happen. And I believe he told me that you managed their group at one time.
Yes, I did. Urban Soul Clique. Right, I sure did, man. Shout out
How'd
to
that
all the
go
Urban
about?
Soul Clique and T Nitty and the rest of the guys. Yeah, that
How'd
was
that go about,
interesting.
man?
Yeah.
How did that come about? Well, at the time he was going out with my cousin, right?
Mhm.
So I met him through family, and I don't know how they found out because I was already dealing with some music stuff. Because I moved to Houston from LA. I'm originally from LA,
Okay.
so I'm from South Central. So I came here to Houston, and I met him through my cousin Kia. And I think we just started talking music and about what's going on. Because at the time I had a digital distribution company called bandwidthmusic.com where I was selling digital downloads 16 years ago. I got here, people were looking at me like I was stupid when I was mentioning digital downloads.
Mhm.
But that was partially the reason that I moved, because it seemed like Houston was on the edge of the independent movement. But when I got here, I realized most of the independents that they talked about that sold out of the trunk had actually basically already sold their company in a sense. They were already under an umbrella, and it wasn't as independent as I thought. But anyway, so I got with him, and we chopped it up, and I met T Nitty and the other guys, and somehow I ended up managing, and it was a great experience. That was like my first time managing a group.
Okay.
And it's kind of difficult.
So I'll ask you this, man, because
Yeah.
my middle son is managing his,
Okay.
his homies.
Yeah.
What is managing a group or a person that is in the music industry? What does that consist of?
Well, I'll talk after Urban Soul Clique, because that was like really just getting my feet wet in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Really what it is, you're kind of like a babysitter.
Okay.
A babysitter that understands the business, a confidant, whatever that person needs at that time, that's kind of who you are, and you just kind of got to be sharp and know how to deal with other people. And I guess everything has changed, like, since I managed people, really. And actually I'm co-managing an artist right now by the name of Peyton that's doing pretty good. But during that earlier time, things were very, very different, because now you're dealing in a space like where you could be managing an artist and they feel that they know more than you because they can Google search something, or they watch a video with somebody else and they're like, oh, such and such did it this way. You're not such and such.
Mm-hmm.
You are who you are. And, as a manager, I would say to your son, you got to have some form of trust, real trust. Because I got screwed over like really bad, like with one of the last person I really managed, it turned me off after that. Like, I hadn't dealt with music, like managing for years until recently, but on this end of management, what I'm doing, I'm more on the creative side. Because in reality, I think what I've been the whole time is an A&R person. That's what I always wanted to be. You know, I wanted to do A&R for the labels because I started doing street promotion, you know, in LA. So I got on doing street promo. My first gig was with Kedar Massenberg. I did
Oh yeah.
Kedar Massenberg, I remember the name.
Yeah. So it was Big Bub and what's his name? Chico DeBarge. When Chico DeBarge just got out of prison. So that was my first thing in the music industry outside of like doing internships. And I did that and I left it alone, even though most people that stayed in that game are like executives in the music industry now. Because as you guys know,
that's how Puffy started, right? Diddy started that way, right?
Yeah, he did promotions. Yeah, people throw parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I know I'm getting off base a bit, but just as a little backdrop, that's how I got involved. But the whole time, like I'm in there, like with some known people getting gigs. I'm working for Virgin, but I was stubborn. I was like, hey, I want to do A&R. I will leave all this alone. Let me go do A&R somewhere. But I didn't get on with any of the large companies. So I was doing it with my friends and bringing people in. And that ship kind of sailed. So I ended up being in a position where it's like, okay, I'm dealing with artists. I guess I'm managing them. So then I'm like, hey, why not start my own company? So that's what I did. So I started Bandwidth and I worked and put together a production team here, a production company called Milky Wave here in Houston. It had quite a few good artists in it that are now individually off doing their own things. So your advice to your son, keep your eyeballs peeled, you know somebody that you kind of know if you can trust somebody, you know what I mean? You know, and keep that relationship open, you know.
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.
Transparent.
Should he have him sign contracts?
Hell yes. But this is the thing though. But even with a contract, you can't make somebody do something. You know what I mean? Because say your artist does something crazy or the manager does something crazy. So what do you do next? Probably you're in a position with them because you guys are attempting to make money. So if there's no money, it takes money to sue somebody. Then if you got money to sue them, what you gonna get?
Right.
But I would still say definitely have a contract because the idea is to make money. So when it does come, you can go back and be like, look, this is what you said, and I need what's mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely get a contract.
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro.
So you go by Risky Cereal, right?
Yeah, Risky Cereal.
And what is that about?
Okay, so Risky Cereal comes about because again, my background is like promotion and marketing. You know, I think in commercial. You know, so I was thinking, you know, like at the time it was like when I got out of college, I went to Graham State University. Shout out to all the Graham fam, by the way. When I got out of college, I went home. My sister was working at Sony. I tried to get an internship there. It didn't happen. But what I wanted to do was go into advertising. So but all of the places I went to, you needed like experience to work at an ad agency, which was weird because it's like, how do you get experience if you can't get a job at an ad agency? Yeah. So that's how I started doing my own promotion thing. So I was like, okay, if I'm doing this promotion marketing, what would I want? And this name came about in Houston, Risky Cereal. It's like, when was the first time I've been like promoted to or advertised? When did it happen? And I was like, shit, you were little. You sit down at the table, you put your parents put a box of cereal in front of you, or you do it yourself, you turn it around, you want whatever's on the back. You know, and that's where Risky Cereal came from. I thought whatever I did, I wanted to stain people's brains the way our brains were stained as kids and would pester our parents or whoever to get what was in that box, even if it was to go buy another box to dig down in the bottom to grab what's out of it. So that's where Risky Cereal comes from.
Okay. That's what's up, man. Okay. Very inventive, very good mind right there.
Thank you. And there should be no one else with Risky Cereal, even though this new wave of kids are into biting and using other people's names and stuff like that. But if you see another Risky Cereal, they bid it from me.
I mean, it stands out. It definitely stands out. When you hear it, it stands out. So tell us about All Real Radio.
Okay. On June 8th, All Real Radio will be standing for 8 years. So I've been with All Real Radio. Yeah, I've been with All Real Radio for 3 years. So 8 years ago, a friend of mine by the name of Zen, it was his brainchild, really good friend of mine. At the time, I think I was managing Milky Wave and doing some other stuff, and he was doing radio. And he told me about it. He's like, man, I'm gonna open a radio station. I'm like, man, that's dope. And I was like, what's the name gonna be? He's like, All Real Radio. And I was like, shit, you actually got that .com? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, cool. So I watched him roll this station out. It was his baby, you know, him and a woman named Denise Lopez, Decolonize, my partner now at the station. It was like Zen's idea. Denise came along and helped him put it together, and they started the station. So the station has been around. I guess that will be, I'm bad with time, 4 years ago now, maybe. Zen died in a car crash in Denver. So he passed away.
Okay.
And Denise came to me later after he passed away, because things were going on at the station, asked me to come on and be, manage the station, be the general manager of the station. And it's interesting because, you know, me and Zen hung out. It's my homeboy. Like, we kicked it tough. And one day, me and him were hanging out, you know, early on. I'm like, dude, when's your birthday? He was like, January 29th. So me and this man born on the same day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Right. So hanging out, find out we born on the same day, have the same interests. Even if you see in passing, you might be like, those guys kind of even look alike. You know, I end up coming and working at his station, you know, as a general manager on something that we talked about, like one day, you know, we're going to figure out how we can work together. So he passes away. I end up coming to general manage the station. So I did that for like a year or so. And Denise talked to me again. It was like, you know, I want you to come on and be a co-owner of the station and, you know, help me, you know, take it where Zen wanted to go and where she wanted to go and where I wanted to go. And that's where I'm at now. I'm a co-owner. And, you know, I do a morning show called Trey Brew every morning on allrealradio.com from 9 to 11, me and Decolonize. Right now, I think we have about 12 shows that are aired throughout the week. We're a 365, 24/7 station. You go on now, a show just finished, so there'll be music playing right now. Okay. We have, you know, we're a community-based station, and we're based at Project Row House here in 3rd Ward, Houston.
Okay. So is it music as well as doctor?
Yeah, so it's music and talk. Yeah.
Okay.
So like the show that was on earlier was called Refreshingly Problematic. It's 2 women. They talk about a bunch of different things. They're funny, actually. You guys got to check them out. So we have shows that are basically talk-based, you know, then we have shows that are based mostly around music. So we have a little bit of both. So kind of what we have is, you know, people shows, they actually stream their shows as podcasts after they're aired on our station.
Oh, nice.
So we have broadcasters that they air their show, like the show that came on today at 5. After it came on, now they're going to put it on Spotify and iTunes, and it will be aired to the rest of their crowd.
Something like the Breakfast Club.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, kind of like the Breakfast Club in a sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they record there locally at your studio, Drew?
Yeah. So we prefer people to come in and record, but when you record at our studio, everything is live. So it's live radio. So if you record it there, you know, you mess up or whatever, like, you know, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so, but some people record at home and they send their file in and then we program it. Okay. But I think we have 3 people doing that now. But even some people that were doing that previously, they decided to come in, you know, because it's an atmosphere, you know. So most people come in.
Do they record daily, weekly?
So during the week, so our next in-house show, let's see today, our next in-house show will be Thursday night. So tomorrow, Wednesday, we don't have any shows that come on Wednesday. So Wednesday is purely, well, no, we have our show so we record in-house every day. So tomorrow we'll do the morning show. Then after that, it's programmed music and mixes throughout the day.
Okay.
Yeah. Then Thursday, we do it again, and we have 2 shows Thursday that come in.
So with your music, with being an online radio station, do you focus on independence or do you just play whatever the mainstream's playing as well?
Well, probably if you listen, you're not going to really hear it's a lot of stuff. So I do the programming. Okay. So there's a lot of shit I'm just not going to play. You know what I mean? Because really, I don't like it. And it's a great, and I'm not trying to say it.
It's your station. So
Yeah, it's my station, damn it. Well, it's our station. But it's not that I just don't like it. It's horrible ass music. You know what I mean? Just because you on the radio now and people like you doesn't really mean that you're fresh.
Right.
So we try to keep to the fresh and things that aren't gonna harm people. You know what I mean? Like I like gangster music just like the rest of the guys, but I would like for you to be able to rap, and I really don't want to hear about you just killing and murdering people all the damn time.
Yeah.
Not all the time. You know, I grew up on the NWA.
Well, you
and all
from
this
LA,
stuff.
Drew. You
I'm from LA. You damn right. Yeah.
NWA.
Exactly.
NWA.
I love NWA. I like DJ Quick. I like Second to None. You know, I like Nipsey. I like all of these dudes.
We used to rock that Second to None in college, boy.
Exactly. I like Glasses Malone. I like all of that stuff, and I will play it. You at a certain time you'll hear some of those things on All World Radio. Don't get me wrong, but there's some stuff from that era too that you probably won't hear because I DJ too. So I DJ our show and I do a show myself on Saturday night. And it's a trip because I'll be playing music sometime and I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck was I listening to? Where I can listen to some stuff and be like, man, I'm not mad at it, but there's a space and a time for it. Mm-hmm. So you won't hear that during the day, but you can tune in and you can hear a conversation like this. We'll curse. We'll do all that throughout the day. But some music, some grimy, grungy, just bottom only lower half thinking music, we try to stay away from that.
Do the artists need clearance in order to, or do you need clearance? The company need clearance in order to play it?
Yeah, so we have to buy licenses, you know, in order for the stuff to be played. Okay. So we own the license, so you can actually come, like your show, whatever you played between will be fine because of the license that we hold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.
That's what's up, man. How do you know? So I'm assuming it's all online, right?
It's all online. Yes.
So how do you know what your demographics are? How are you hitting those folks that will just, when they get in their car or working out, they're just listening to whatever the local radio station is?
So that's a work in progress, but we do have a base of listeners. Well, the way we know on our back end on the software we use to run our station, we go in quarterly and we let our, not quarterly, we go bi-monthly, and we go in and let our broadcasters know what their numbers are like. So it gives us an average of listenership during a certain block of time. So we can kind of get where people are listening from and how long they're listening. So that's how we know. We share that with our broadcasters because our objective is for the station to be ran off of advertising money, just like terrestrial radio and television does. So our broadcasters sell ads too. So they sell ads and we do a revenue split with them. Okay. So we're trying to get that in because we want to be able to actually bring jobs to the community too and set it up where our broadcasters aren't paying to come in. Because right now our broadcasters pay to do their show, which is a menial amount. We pay $50 a month, which is nothing actually for what's given.
It's actually really good.
You know, yeah, it's pretty good. Then, like I say, you're allowed to sell ad space, you know, but of course we get a split on that revenue. So, you know, that's basically how we're working. Okay. I think I answered that. I'm not sure.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. I love that. I like it.
No, that's dope. When I was checking it out, I was thinking about, is it like KTSU? But no, but
yeah, it's a little different, but
you know. A little different, but no,
right.
But I like it though.
Yeah.
So, like we were saying, you from LA, from South
Yes.
Central.
Right? Jay, hold on. Before you hit on that, I want to ask: is there an app? How do people pull it up?
Yeah, so we have an app. We have an app in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. So it's allrealradio.com. So All Real Radio, spelled the way it sounds, ALLradio.com, REAL radio.com. So you can download the app or you can go online and just put us in the search bar and it'll come up. You can listen in.
That's what's up. Okay.
Cool. I think I found you when I went to your Instagram.
Oh, really? Okay. And on the Instagram, All Real Radio.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that way. So, but that's dope though. We're gonna definitely put the link in our show notes though.
Okay. Thank you. Man. I appreciate that.
Brother.
Absolutely. Give you that shout out on the show. But you know what I want to know is what was it like for you growing up in South
Hmm.
Central LA?
No, it's like that.
Hey, see why
What
so
set
many,
what set you playing? What set you from?
I
All
mean,
of that.
you
That's what
know,
happened.
for those who ain't there, that's what we know, right? Watch the
Yeah,
movies, watch the news, TV. We think about, gang violence,
yeah.
the
It's real.
crime. Yeah.
It's real in the field. So, like I said, I grew up in South Central. So people that are watching may know the neck. I grew up between 36 and Dinker, my grandmother's house, where eventually I ended up living, and my mom's house on 103rd St. Andrews. So I grew up in the Crip neighborhood. Both neighborhoods are Crip neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess everybody in LA, probably from my period, is kind of guilty by affiliation, just
Mm-hmm.
because you live in this neighborhood. You know the people there. Like in my elementary school, I remember like I went back and I looked at my, class picture at my mom's house, and I looked on the back and somebody wrote like, "See you next year, cuz." Like, we in the 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, so I remember when I went to 7th grade, that's the first time somebody I know that got killed. They were like in the 7th grade and they were gang banging or affiliated enough and they got killed. So it's weird, man, because I wouldn't trade living and growing up there for anything else in the world. But we had some turmoil, some really crazy stuff. Like I tell people, like we didn't even, me myself, seeing 18, I was like, probably not. You know what I'm saying? Because you see a lot of people get killed or you hear a lot about it. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't out there. I wasn't even one of those ones. You know what I mean? But I saw it.
Like you
You know what I
said, guilty
mean?
by affiliation.
Guilty by affiliation. You're around. I'm going to junior high school away from my house. So dudes from my neighborhood that went to my junior high school, of course we cool. We ride the bus there. We got to traverse the bus back through all these neighborhoods and all these other people.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you cool with? You cool with your people.
Yeah.
And other people that were on the same thing.
Yeah.
So, that got to be really tricky. Like that's junior high school. So in high school, this trip, because I went to a all boys Catholic school. Shout out to Sarah High. So people would hear that and think like, you went to a Catholic school. Believe me, ain't even like that. You know what I'm saying? Not even like that. First off, after being there, I realized like, because my mom, the junior high school I would have went to, because I didn't get bused. I went to the junior high school my sister went to. It's John Burroughs. Like it's a trip because you look up John Burroughs, probably a bunch of movies that you've seen. That was John Burroughs that they used as a school.
Really?
From Nightmare on Elm Street forward. You know what I mean? That was JB.
Okay.
But so I went to the school my sister went to, which was a really nice school. Literally, my school was around mansions. You know what I'm saying? So, the atmosphere was different. Even though the kids that went to the school, like I say, was still on some gangbang stuff in junior high school. But it wasn't like the school that I would have went to if I would have went to the school that was in my neighborhood. It was the training camp for the gang in the neighborhood. More than likely, if you went to that school, you was gonna bang the set from that area. It's a good chance because again, you right there, and you walking home. It's all there. So you take on the enemies that were coming to that junior high school too, because they're kids as well and had to come to that school. So I didn't go there. My mother sent me to JB. Then after that, I ended up going to a private high school. I guess maybe they could see the path that was, kind of just there. But going to this school, I realized when I get to this high school, it was filled with kids like me, but also kids that got kicked out of LAUSD. So they're in this school. Then we had our own little camaraderie at a all black boys Catholic school where we were damn near a gang ourselves. So, and you still had people that gang bang, at this school. So you really can't get away from it. It's there. It's part of day-to-day life. When I grew up, what they told you about the colors was real. It's hats that you could not wear. Like, I had my Texans hat on today. In LA, this is a gang. You will get your head blown off behind that. I wouldn't even wear it in LA. Like the Houston Astros hat, listen, you will die in Los Angeles from wearing that hat. Somebody will get at
Same situation with me, brother. Because I dated my second wife. She's from LA, and me being here in Kansas City. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs and a Kansas City Royals fan. She was like, "You can't wear that now. You can't wear
kitchen crib."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, like don't do it. But I know Kansas City had a gang thing too. Because I remember during that time, it was popping out there from what I hear as well.
They did.
Yeah.
You know, it was some that had transplanted to Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was just some others just wanted to be, what they were seeing out west. So they just started the gangs, started in the city, and they had sets.
You got one or two cats or three or four cats that came from LA to Kansas City representing whatever Crip or Blood, and that from there it was that's how it grew.
That's how it goes. And like here in Houston, a lot of you'll hear in LA. I remember being young and people getting into trouble, and their parents would be like, "We're gonna send you back to Texas." So they sent the gangs because the dudes were still bad. They just went there and started a gang.
Yeah,
that still exists now here in Houston. Yeah, that breeds all this other stuff. But like I was saying, like the color thing was real when I was younger. Like I lived in a Crip neighborhood. I got sweated for not having on red, for not having on any blue. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, you don't got on red, but where's your blue? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So things like that, getting robbed when you're little, taking your bus pass, taking your money, all of those things. And when you think about it, those things will lead you to being in a gang. You know what I mean? Because it's like, all right, you fuck with me, I got my homies with me. Yeah. But a lot of people have died, man. A lot of people died dead in prison, as I'm sure you guys know behind that.
Yeah.
And that was global.
A lot of pressure to be in one or the other, right? So, I'm just thinking, like, coming up, how were you able to escape it and not get caught up in it?
That's interesting because my Uncle Charles, rest in peace, before he passed away, I was talking to him and he was like, because he grew up, he would be in the neighborhood too, hanging out. He was a lot older than me. And he was like, man, I do not know how you escaped this, Drew, because he was sick. It wasn't like I went off the porch. I'm at the park, I'm hanging with my homeboys, but I just did not get in that exact clique of things. I didn't do that. You know what I mean? I did some of the spin-off things. I did things, but I just didn't go all the way in with them like that. I had my own thing we were doing at the time, which was interesting because in LA, we had a thing called prep gangs, which was a spinoff from Bloods and Crips, when really it's just, you in LA, you're going to live in one of these neighborhoods. So even if you did the prep gang stuff, you lived in one of these neighborhoods. So you had your own things. You already said Blood or Cuz, one of the two, but this whole other thing was based around like party crews and dancing and stuff. But even that turned into full-fledged gangbanging over time because it's inevitable. It's like you're in a neighborhood. Something's going to happen with somebody, some back and forth, somebody going to get shot, hurt, and, it's the same thing eventually. So I also can say, too, I kind of guess what saved me, but I don't want to make it seem like I was some notorious dude or something, but I dipped my toe in. I was doing some things. Yeah. Was going to college. The
mindset was different.
Yeah, my mindset was different. Yeah, my mindset was different. Gangbanging was like a dirty thing with me growing up. It was like, they don't look like they look now. If you gangbang, you had like a khaki suit, Jerry curl, white tee, some 501s. Right. You look like a gangster back in the day. Some dick. You look like a gangster.
Tan Dickies and the blue or the red button up.
Yeah, with a belt. You know what I'm saying? Your belt to the west side or somewhere. You gangbang back. I appreciated that thing. So it's like you knew a gangster when you saw one. Like when I was growing up, we were around. If you had a tattoo on your neck or your fingers, you are a fucking gangster.
You're a banger.
For sure, you gangbang. If you had a tattoo on your face, you damn near weren't even looking at somebody in the face, in the eyes that had a tattoo in their face. You're like a home with no parts of that.
Don't mess with that kid. Don't mess with
Leave him or a dude with rollers in their head. Oh my God.
Big word. You see a lot of big words out there.
Leave him alone.
Or Dookie.
Exactly.
With the pacifier.
Right. Yeah. So it was real in the field. back then. And I'm thankful to God, my ancestors, that I'm able to be where I am now. And even when I go home to LA, I'm still on that same time, you know, where it's like, you know, I don't be rocking certain stuff. I don't let my kids wear it. And other my homies at home, they're like, Drew, it ain't like that no more. And I'm like, to me, it's still like that. Y'all can say whatever the hell you want to.
Yeah.
It's a certain way I'm moving there. And you don't really even have to do anything, even now, to get yourself killed there. Just be hanging out, sitting in the car, chilling in somebody's neighborhood. That's more than enough. Because they figure you should know the rules.
Yeah.
Right.
It's sad.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. So, bro, I'll ask you. So, you know, you made the transition and you're in the music business, primarily in the music business right now. What would you say to the youngsters or to anyone actually out there, young, old, who wants to get into the music business? How would you say that they need, what are the steps that they need to take in order to be successful in it?
Interesting, because my 20-year-old son just put out his first song like 2 weeks ago. I'll send it to you guys. Nice. So that was a rough one for me. He's been playing piano since he was 5. For him to come to me, he's a 2020 graduate, so he had a full ride somewhere. He had scholars. He could have went to college. We didn't know if school was going to even exist anymore. And so it's been that way since then. So he's home. So he's going to TSU in the fall. So he was home. So he told me he wanted to produce and make beats. So I bought a machine, you know, and told him as much as I could, put him in contact with some of my homeboys that are in the industry doing things. And he put out a song. But before that, he came home during high school and he was like, I got on somebody's song. And people that know me would know, I'll tell you, man, if my mother could give me something or send me a film or some music, and if I don't like it, if I figure it's bad, I will try the best way possible to let you know I don't like it, and maybe you should try to do something else, you know? So for my son, I was prepared to do that for him, if that's what it was. But I heard his rhyme and I was like, dude can actually rap. So years later, when he comes to me and tells me he wants to be in the music business, I was kind of like, shit, why? You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm thinking. I'm like, didn't you see all these things I've gone through? But I didn't want to be the wet blanket and be like the parent, the old fogey, like, you don't know no damn music, when I'm still kind of involved, you know?
Right.
So let him go, and what he's been producing and bringing to me is some exceptional shit, I would say myself. So I'm happy about it. So what I would say to youngsters is to, first off, don't do it just because everybody else doing it. You know, just because it seems like an easy route, first off, it is not an easy route. It's hard to make money. If you're dealing with streams, it's virtually impossible to make $1 million damn near. Excuse me, unless you're like a star. And what I think a lot of people don't understand, they look at Kendrick Lamar's and they're like, oh, they look at Kendrick. I forget 250,000, something like that, what it took for them to get his music playing in the beginning. You know, so there was already money involved when it seemed like he came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would say, make sure you want to do it. Don't think that you can get into the music industry like some people say, like, man, I'm just going to do what's out now. Then when I get in, I'm going to let them know what I really want to say. Highly unlikely, because if that's what got you in, that's what they're going to continue to pay for. And when you try to do something else, it's more than, I'm not saying it can't work, it probably won't. Because they're going to shovel you along. You know, so that would be my advice. Make sure you want to do this. Know it's going to be hard. Know it's going to be some ups and downs. You may be poor for a while. You don't have to be. But, you know, I would say don't do it because you think you're going to be rich. You know, I would say that would be the wrong reason.
Would you recommend them going more of the independent route than signing to a label? Just simply because, you know, in my opinion, with labels, you get shuffled. I mean, they'll sign you for 50, 100 grand if you hot, but then they'll sweep you up under the rug. Whereas
sweep you under the rug. And also, too, the record company is a bank. So what they're doing is they're giving you a loan. So they're loaning you money. So you take this money and you run around and you just spend it, but then they're like, gotcha. So what else you need? So before you know it, say you're a great artist, you haven't made any money. The money that you're making, you're paying them back. So they had you by the nuts. So you got to pay back this loan, and you want to get videos and stuff. Those things aren't free. They're not doing this for you out of friendship. And that's something that I tell artists, that I've told artists that I work with. You think the label is your friend because they're set up to look like they're your friend. They send somebody to you, like wine and dine you or whatever they're going to do, act like you're really cool because they want to sign you. But then again, they have a receipt book. So probably even the dinner that they took you to, you paid for that.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say,
they
you paid for that shit 3
back.
times. Yeah, so I would say independent, especially in the beginning. You know, I would say learn as much as you can about the music industry. Learn as much about publishing, copyright. You know, if you really want to be in the music industry, I would say, like, you going to college, going to school, go to law school. You know what I mean? You know, go to law school. That's what I kick myself because I'm really interested in the law. When I moved to Houston, I was like, let me go get my degree in law. And I was like, shit, that's going to take 4 years. I could have went to law school 4 different times by now.
Yeah. Right.
So I would say you have the time. So go learn something that's going to help you with your career.
Law or business school.
Yeah, business school. Pick up an instrument. You know what I'm saying? Learn to engineer. Learn something about it. Learn something that you don't have to pay somebody for. So you're still valuable. You know, even if you take a turn and you like, I'm not going to be an artist. I'm an engineer now. Okay, you got that. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, just learn more than your one thing, I would say.
I was gonna say that, Drew. People get caught up in the shiny object, right? I want to be an artist. Same with sports. I want to be a pro player. But you can still get into that industry and not be a star. You could be, like I said, you could be an engineer. You know, you could get education and a skill and be in the business. Say you don't become a star. You become, like you said, A&R. You become promotion. You can become an engineer, a producer. You know, there's other ways you can get into the business, you know, without having to think, oh, I'm be a rapper and that's it.
Right.
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.
A lot of other ways, man.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of the people that were stars 5, 10, 20 years ago that were that were having their videos on TV or music on the radio, they're probably execs now or A&Rs now, or they're still in the business some way. And you just don't see them. You hear their music still being played.
Making money.
Playback Wednesdays or something, but they're still making their money, you know?
Yeah, because they're still there. And it's interesting that you mentioned A&R, because I haven't really heard anything about A&R people in some years. Yeah. Like, I don't even know if it really exists anymore. Because, I mean, what does it take to find one of these dudes that's considered hot? Go walk wherever somebody's selling dope at and ask them, you know, where's the rap group?
Right.
Where's your rapper? Because it seems like that's their intention, to only find things that are basically degrading to our people and everyone else. And that's what everybody want to hear. And that's what they put out. A lot of it doesn't have much value, but even though a lot does, but a great portion of it is really just it's useless music. It's like food with no calories, you know. So
yeah, I'm the honest. There's very few new artists I listen to. You know, most of the people I listen to, you know, 90s rap and 90s rap. There's very few cats that I listen to nowadays. I'm like, okay, I can rock with you. Most of them.
Right. To be honest with you, man, I try to keep my mind open and listen to everything. Because I think about when I was in my early 20s and how they would say certain rappers at that point fell off and they don't, you know, excuse me. So older people were like, I ain't listening to that, and we was listening to whatever was hot right now at that point. So I still try to keep my mind open as far as who's listening to what. I mean, what's hot. What's good to me.
That's me now. I'm that old dude. But like, that ain't real music. Blah, blah, blah. What is that noise?
Right. Yeah, I try not to be that too. Because like I used to go into the room and luckily though, my son, he's listened. He kind of grew up listening to what I listened to. So like, even when I send you this stuff, you're going to be like, okay, that's not what cats are talking about now. But of course he likes some stuff now that I'm like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? I really don't get it, but I don't tell him not to listen, but I'm just like, I don't understand. You know what I mean?
I mean, it ain't for me. It ain't got to be.
It's just not for me.
It's still,
that's fine.
They said, do they do anything? And I ain't gonna knock them. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
say it's trash. I'm just saying it's not. I don't dig it. You know, it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
not
But
for me.
have you guys heard? Have you got a chance to listen to Kendrick's new album?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's fire. It was funny.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I looked on Facebook and somebody's like, "Yeah, that new Kendrick's dope." He said, "No club bangers, but it's hot." I was like, "Yeah, it ain't ride music, but
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I like it.
it's dope. It's thought provoking. It's real. You
It
know."
has a little bit of everything in it. So yeah, so stuff like that. And I like J. Cole, I like Pusha T,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And there's a lot more people that I like. But I
Yeah.
guess at the core though, musically, I'm more of a soul person,
Okay.
so that's really if I'm listening to a lot of soul. I listen to hip hop too, but my go-to is usually soul music,
Okay.
so
That's what's
but
up.
even that's changed. I mean, you hard pressed to find a love song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It's not a whole bunch
Mhm.
of love singing going on here,
No,
Mhm.
but
no,
yeah. But at
not
the
like
beginning of our conversation, you mentioned that you're also a photographer and a
yes.
film what is it? Film producer or
um,
film
filmmaker.
maker?
You know what I mean?
Filmmaker. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and you sent me some clips, and I actually listened to them and liked them. So it was like music videos,
Uh-huh.
and then one was just like, was one a silent film? I don't know if it was.
Yeah, yeah. That was basically a silent film.
Yeah. So
Just
what
told
do
a
you,
story
so
about
so your thing is what? Music videos or films or short films or what? Just kind of all of it.
all I like shooting short films myself though. Like I shoot like everything that I sent you, I shot myself other than the video of Peyton, the girl singing.
Okay.
I shot all the other stuff. So I like to shoot, but I really like to direct. So I shoot. I won't say out of necessity. It's just because I'm not gonna wait for somebody to shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna shoot it myself. So
Okay.
I like to do shorts. In my head, I have movies. I've written things. So that's where I'm going towards.
Okay.
Like with Peyton, her next video, more than likely, I will be directing her next video that comes out. So it's a little different because we got to, she's signed to a label.
Yeah.
So, so I'll be directing that video. Like the other things people like will pay me to shoot and direct.
Hmm.
And like the 16 experiment, that's something I shot with my phone. That's something I did on my own. So like if I feel like shooting something or I have an idea, I storyboard it and go shoot it. But people also pay me to come shoot things for them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
That's
Right.
dope, bro. You got a lot
Mhm.
going on, man.
Yeah, thank you. And I meant to send you some photography, but I'll send you guys something later. Like I did my first show like last year for photography. So I really like photography too. So,
Okay.
I've been doing
Yeah.
that.
We might need to use you at some point. We might need to get
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
we
We're
might
gonna
need
Yeah,
to
let
shoot
me
get
some
on
know.
the show
promos.
at some
All
point for
right, let's do it.
photography. So
I do
Yeah.
something fresh for y'all. I already know.
I gotta drop about 50 pounds first, man.
Hey man, I think we all gotta drop something. When I stand up and look at myself in the mirror, see my stomach, and be like,
and
who
turn
the
to the
fuck is
side.
this?
Like,
Turn to the
damn.
side, you already know. You're
Yeah,
like,
I
wait,
know.
what's
That
this?
side
Say,
profile be
how
like,
did we get here, man?
How do we get here? Exactly. How do we get here, man?
yeah,
That's exactly what I think when I see it.
that's dope.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so we got the All Real Radio app,
Yes.
and we're gonna put that in the show notes.
Okay.
Which I just downloaded as well. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very
So
much.
what else should we promote, Drew? What else you got that we need to?
My Instagram, Risky Cereal.
Okay.
So like, there's really not any posts on there. I think I might have 10 posts,
Yeah.
but
You got a gang of followers.
yeah, I got some followers, and my thing is my stories. So I'm always gonna have something kind of interesting in stories.
I got you.
Either some photography, because I'm old and annoyed. Because I found myself posting pictures, and I was looking at pictures on Facebook one day, and I was like, oh damn, that's a nice picture. I was like, oh, this person shot exactly what I shot. Then I'm looking, I'm like, that's my damn picture. You know what I'm saying? So people were taking my picture, reusing it, not even giving me credit for it.
Whoa.
So that's another part of the game that I learned. Like, I don't really post
copyright.
that I haven't copyright.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
that's smart.
Hey, I still shit off of Instagram. I'll still shit and repost it all the time.
Yeah,
So I
I
understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
And I give
So
credit
yeah.
when I do it though. I like repost, blah 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 blah. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Right.
But with the copyright, I know
Yeah.
I'm not messing with it.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta copyright it. You know what I mean? So even when I copyright it, somebody take it, I'm not tripping. So I'm not even
Hmm.
tripping on people sharing my stuff. But like if it becomes commercially viable and it blows up commercially,
Monetize,
then
yeah.
I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? If I don't have a copyright, then I got a copyright, then I gotta, I can go after you then. You know what I mean? And get what's owed to me. But other than that,
Yeah.
it's just a story like a people tell. That was mine. And people like,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
Right.
was. Whatever.
So yeah.
Like it was basically whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Drew, we have enjoyed the conversation. We appreciate you coming on, my brother. And
Yeah.
Frank, you want to close us out with anything, a little short rant you got?
Yeah, man. I want to say again, as Jay said, our condolences to the families and is it Uvalde?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uvalde.
Uvalde, Texas. Also, our condolences to the families in Buffalo. You know, dealing with someone who has had a loved one um, murdered. I know what you guys are going through, and my hearts are with you. I'm sending as much positive vibes as I possibly can. But one thing I want to say is make it despite your surroundings.
Mm.
We are having people on here. We're having young men and young women. I'm gonna call us young because I'll never call us old because
I'm with it.
we're as young as our thoughts are.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having young men and young women on here that are successful, and one thing that I've noticed about it, and I think we're at episode 26, Jay. But
Let's
one
go.
thing I've noticed, man, every guest that we've had on, they have they're business owners. They've had success, and they're living their dreams. That was the most amazing thing about me about
Mm.
this interview. This man is living his dreams. Drew has went on and had a dream of doing photography, doing music, doing all these things, and he's living that. So when
Yeah.
you find your Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher, I got to give you a shout because I heard this on one of your motivational videos. You said when you are doing something that you love, you never work a day in your life. You never
Mm.
work a day in your life. I'm gonna say that
Yeah.
one more time. You never work a day in your life. Your job is what you love, and once you find what you love, you never work again. And
Right.
money will come. Money comes when you find something that you love. Money will come, no matter what that love is. As long as you ain't fucking with no kids or no shit like that.
Right. Off with your head if you do something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
Off
I'm
with your
saying?
head. Off with your.
Off with,
Well, I'll say other
Yeah.
things. Well, off with a
yeah.
lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah. Off with a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. I agree. Amen, my brother. I
Well said,
appreciate
my
that.
brother. Well
Yeah.
Yeah.
said.
Thanks for coming out, Drew.
Yeah.
Big
Thank you for
Frank,
having me, man. I appreciate it.
risky cereal. And I'm Jay.
That's
There's things
me.
to move on, y'all. We out.
Mwah.
Peace.
If you enjoyed that episode, don't forget to subscribe and like us on our YouTube channel and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.